Hi, welcome to Analyze It. In this video, I am going to show how you can connect and fetch data from Kobo Toolbox to Python. Typically, when you do mobile data collection, you upload the data into Kobo Toolbox cloud, and to bring the data that have been collected and that is stored in Kobo Toolbox into Python, traditionally, people download the data through either a CSV format or Excel format and then bring it to Python. However, in this video, we will not adopt this approach. We will establish a direct connection between Kobo Toolbox and Python. We will be using the Kobo Toolbox API. An API stands for Application Program Interface, which is an interface that allows two software to communicate. And we will be using Kobo Extractor, which is a library specifically designed for an interaction between Python and Kobo Toolbox. We will be doing this through Google Colab, which is a web interface allowing you to type Python code. So this is the approach that we will be using. Obviously, why we want to use this approach? The first reason is that when you use API, it is easy for you to refresh the data. Whenever you are doing the survey, and the survey will last like 3-4 months or 3-4 weeks, and you have data coming every day, you can just press the run button in your Python, and it will refresh and upload the updated data set. You don't need to again download a new Excel and bring it in Python. The second reason also is that it's easy for doing querying and data transformation. Regarding Google Colab, there is a big advantage that you don't need to install Python or a library in your personal computer. Everything is in Google Colab, and you don't need to download this software in your laptop, which will free some space in your laptop. Google Colab is free. It is a great tool for sharing, so you can have different people sharing the same Google project. And finally, you can benefit AI assistants. Whenever you're stuck in a code, you can just type a prompt and Google Colab will suggest you the code for resolving the problem where you're stuck. Connecting and fetching data from Kobo Toolbox to Python is a 5-step process. The first step is to get and provide your Kobo information, and there are 3 types of information that you will need to provide. The first one is the Kobo-based URL, the API key, and the ID of the form where you have the data. The second step is to install and import Kobo Extractor library into Google Colab. Typically, Google Colab has a set of library already installed, but in that case, Kobo Extractor is not, and so you will have to install it and import it before using it. The third step is accessing your Kobo account, and we will be using the Kobo URL and the API key to access your Kobo account. The fourth step, which is the heart of this video, is to fetch data submitted to your form, and we'll be using the form ID to get the specific data. And the last one is transforming the fetched data into a data frame, and for that we'll be using Panda library, which is already installed in Google Colab. Okay, I just opened my Google Drive, and to create a new project where I will type my Python code, I will need to go to my Google Colab. I already downloaded the Google Colab in my Google Drive. So to open a new project, I simply need to go to New, then More, and we click on the Google Collaboratory to create a new project. I already create this new project, so let me bring the screen of this new project. All right, so this is my new project. So as you can see, as I mentioned, the first step is to really provide the information about the Kobo. Specifically, we need to provide the API key, the form ID, and the Kobo URL. So what we're gonna do first, for each of them, we're gonna create a variable. So let's create a variable for the API key. So we will call it my underscore token equal, right? And we'll put double quote, and then we'll be looking for this API key in Kobo. Let's create the second variable that we will call form underscore ID, and we'll do the same, equal and double quote. And lastly, we will create a variable for the URL, so we'll call it Kobo underscore base underscore URL equal, and the same thing, double quote. So let's go in our Kobo account and get all of this information and paste it here. Okay, now I am in my Kobo account. So let's look for the API key. To look at the API key, I will go to my initial here, and yours may be different depending on how you set up your account. So I will click on my initial here, and then account setting. In the account setting, I will go for security, and I will find my API key here. And I just need to copy it so I can display it, and you can see mine. And I just copy this one here, and then I will paste it in my Python here. I will just paste it here. Right now, I'm not showing because remember, it is crucial to keep your token secure and secret and not sharing to anyone, as anyone with the token can access your Kobo Toolbox data. So for now, I will not copy it, and let's look for the form ID. So let's go back to our Kobo Toolbox account. Okay, this is my Toolbox account. So let me go in my project, and to find the form, so for example, I want to bring this form in my Python. So I will just click, right? And typically the ID of my form is everything that comes after the forms here in the URL. So you basically need to go in the URL of that form, and everything that comes after the forms is the ID of your form. So I will start selecting all of these until here, okay, and Control C and paste it in my Python project. So let me do that, and then we'll paste it here. Control V. Here you go. This is my form ID. Now for the Kobo URL. So mine, I open this account using the Kobo humanitarian response. Yours, you may have used different setup. You can probably you have used Kiev humanitarian response or KC. Mine is the Kobo humanitarian response. So basically, my URL will be the one that I'm copying right now. So it is Kobo humanitarian response. So, and then you will have to type .info/API/v2. So yours can be, for example, KC humanitarian and API-info API v2, depending on how you have set up your Kobo Toolbox account. Okay, that's it for providing the information about your Kobo that you need to provide. Remember, you need to provide the API key and never share the API key. And then you need to provide the form ID and the Kobo URL. So now let's go to the second step. Okay, the second step consists in installing and importing the Kobo extractor into the Google Colab. As I mentioned previously, Google Colab has a preset or pre-installed library in Python. But in that case, Kobo extractor as a library, it's not installed. It's not installed and it's not imported. So we need to install it, and it will be installed in the cloud and not in your local machine. And this package of Kobo extractor will allow you for data extraction from Kobo Toolbox. It is a library specifically built to extract data in Kobo Toolbox. So we need to install it and then and import in the cloud. So to install it first, we're gonna use this. We're gonna type this line of code. Let me type it first, and then I will explain it. Exclamation mark pip install and Kobo extractor. Okay. And then we will type we'll click on Shift Enter to run it. Okay. So typically, what this code is doing is that first the exclamation mark is there to indicate a shell command in the Colab, while the pip install is the standard Python command to add a new package. And here the new package that we want to install is the Kobo extractor. So you see that he has already installed it and it says successfully installed, right? So once we have done with the installation, we need to import it now in our Google Colab. So let me add a new cell, code of cell. And then now we're going to install the Kobo extractor for that. So we will type from Kobo extractor, okay, import the class Kobo extractor, right? So this line import the Kobo extractor class from the Kobo extractor module. All right. So Kobo extractor class is a Python class that facilitates the extraction of data from Kobo Toolbox. So once we have typed this code, we will run it. All right. So there is a mark here, so that means it's good and I have no error. All right. So it's only what you have to do for installing and importing the Kobo extractor module and the class into Google Colab. So let's move for the next step, which is accessing your Kobo account using your token or using your API key. To access your Kobo account, you will basically need to create an instance of the Kobo extractor class where you will pass two arguments. The first argument will be your API token that you have stored as a variable my token that we provided earlier, and also the Kobo base URL. So let's create this instance of Kobo extractor, and we will call it Kobo, and we'll pass the two arguments. So let me call this instance of Kobo extractor class Kobo equal, and we will call the Kobo extractor class Kobo extractor. So it's already there. Okay. Open parenthesis, and we'll pass the first argument, which is my token, which I have here, my token variable. So I will type my underscore token, comma, and I will pass also the Kobo URL base that we provided earlier, which is that one here. All right. We'll say Kobo underscore base, and it has already identified. All right. But before I run this line of code, I did not run the first one. So let me do that. So I will run it quickly and go back and run that one. All right, that's so simple like that. So now we have accessed our Kobo account using my the API key, which I save as a variable called my token, and the Kobo URL, which I save as a variable that I call Kobo based URL. So now let's go to the fourth step, which is fetching the data that I submitted in a specific form. So to fetch the data from the form, I will call the getData method of the Kobo extractor object that I created earlier. I'm talking about this Kobo extractor object that I created. So I will create a variable that will contain my data, and I will say data equal, and I will call the Kobo object, this Kobo object here, which is this variable which contains the Kobo extractor object that I created, where I pass my token and the URL. So I will call this Kobo object and then dot, and I will call the getData. Okay, the IntelliSense already recognized this method, and the getData is the method to fetch data from a specific form, and I will pass the ID of the form. And remember, I created a variable above which contains the ID form in the form of the variable. So I will basically pass the form ID. All right, and that's it. And I just click Shift Enter, or I just press the arrow to run the cell of code. All right, here we go. Now I can see my data. So let's say type data and run again my code. Here we go. This is the data that just been fetched. So now you can see it has 3 keys: next, previous, and the results. And the result is part of the data that contain the information that I need. As you can see, this is the format of JSON, and all my data are stored in this key called result. So now what we need to do, we need to convert this in the format of a table. So, and this is what we're going to do in the next step. As I just said, from the above output, we can see that the fetched data is returned in the format of a nested JSON. So we need to flatten this JSON data in the format of a table. or by creating a data frame. And we will take the result key from the data dictionary, which contains the actual data from the form from submission, and we will convert it into a data frame. Therefore, what we need to do first is to import the Panda modules. So we will import the Panda module. Here, we don't need to install it because Panda is already pre-installed in Google Colab. Panda is the standard library to work with data frame and dataset to do data manipulation. So let's import it. So we'll type import pandas as PD, right? And then we run it. All right. So let's add another new set of code. And now what we're going to be doing, we're going to convert the JSON format into a data frame. So let's create a data frame that we'll call df equal, and we will call the panda that we save as PD. So we'll call the panda PD dot, and we will normalize the JSON. So JSON normalize, exactly. Open parenthesis, and what we want to normalize, we want to normalize the data, okay, that we have here, and we want to take the results, right? All right, so why we put data? Because our data has been stored as a variable in a variable called data here, and we know that the information that we want to retrieve are stored in the result. Okay, so basically what our code below is telling us is I want to create a data frame that I will call df, and which is basically the normalization of JSON, and we will take it will coming from the data and the key from the key result, right? And let's run that code. Okay, no problem. So let's see our df. We can print the first row of my data frame. So I will say df dot head. All right, here we go. This is the first 5 rows of my data frame, of my data that is in Python. Right, let's go in Python to see what it is. Where is my Python? Okay. I'm in my Kobo. All right, so we can see we have start and region name sex. In my Python, I just have start and name sex and region. All right, so this is how we can fetch the data. Obviously, in the next step, we don't want to have all of these columns, so I will show you how you can use the AI inside this Google Colab to only get the information for the column name, sex, age, and purchase product. So let me create a new cell. All right, it's already there. So, and we will use we'll generate this through the AI. So instead of starting the code, we'll click on generate with AI. And now here I can type my prompt. So my prompt that I want to create a new data frame that where I only want to have the region and the sex and the name. So I will type a prompt and I will say, okay, how to select, for example, data with only region, name, name, sex, and product per set. Okay. And now what I did is I basically reproduced the same header of this column: region, name, sex, and age, and product purchased. And we'll see what the AI will get it to me. So we say generate. All right, here is the prompt that, here is the code that the AI suggested to me. So let's now let's now run this code. Exactly. So you see that he has given me the exact code that I wanted to know, and I type it the prompt here, and he generated to me what I wanted. So here is the data frame. Here is the data set where I only selected these 4 columns. This is the end of the video where I explain how you can fetch data from Kobo Toolbox into Python. I hope you have found this video very useful and you enjoy it. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, or don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can get notice when I am releasing new video. I will be put a link in this video in the comment section where you can access the entire code for this video. So feel free to use it and share it with anyone. Thank you for watching and take care.